Hello and welcome to Whiskey and Wargaming. Today we're going to be playing a Crusade mission from the new Crusade mission pack, the Plague Purge. We're not going to be using the agenda points from this because we're not actually in the Crusade yet. This is just going to be a warm-up for the Crusade we're going to be starting over the next couple of days. Today with me, as ever, is Owen. Hi, Owen.
Hey, how are you getting on?
Yeah, good, thanks. So yeah, what we'll do to start with is we'll roll up a mission from this pack. I'll explain the mission because I know you haven't got the book in front of you. We're not going to be using these stratagems from these missions at the moment that we could possibly use. So this one isn't going to play out as it would in an actual Crusade, but it's just to get a bit of an impression of how these Crusade mission works. So... do you want me to roll one up, or do you want me to just pick one from the book?
Well, it's a friendly, so whatever you feel like. If you see one there that stands out that you want to try, we can always go for. Or if it's just easier, I'll roll something right now.
Do you want to go ahead and roll something, and then if it's just too difficult to set up or something like that, then we'll sort it out later.
Try get the game going fast. I got a 1.
Okay, so the mission that we're going to be playing is something called Infiltrate the Ring. I'll read the briefing. A specialist force must attempt to infiltrate the enemy's fortified lines. If successful, they will cause untold havoc for when their larger army's forces make the full assault. So this is an assault mission. So if we were actually playing in the Crusade with the stratagems, we'd be using the assault stratagems, but we're not going to be. So there is a couple of things on this. One is called a front line, and after determining attacker and defender, the defender chooses a deployment zone and divides their deployment zone into 3 equal sections as shown on the deployment map. Yep, I'll keep us right with it. Then they place an objective marker in the horizontal center of each of these sections and 6 inches from the horizontal line that runs across the center of the battlefield. Yep, okay. Patrol duty. During the deployment forces step of the mission sequence, the players do not alternate setting up their units. Instead, the defender sets their units up first in the order of their choosing, dividing their total numbers of units evenly as possible between each of the sections of the deployment zone. When setting up a unit in the section, it must be wholly within the section. If that's not possible, set it up as close as possible to the section. And in the first battle run, treat that unit as if it was a large model that was unable to be properly deployed as specified in the step in the mission sequence. After the defender has set up all their units, the attacker then sets up all their units in their deployment zone. Surprise attack. The attacker decides who will have the first turn. Okay, interesting. And at the start of their command phase, the attacker selects and reveals one objective marker to be the alpha objective marker. Okay. So, victory points are awarded as follows. Test the line. At the end of each battle round, each player scores 5 victory points for each of the following conditions they satisfy for the maximum of 15 victory points. They control 1 or more objective markers. Each player, okay. They control the alpha objective marker. This condition is not achievable if the attacker has not yet selected the alpha objective marker. Okay. They control more objective markers than their opponent controls. And that's done when at the end of each battle round. Okay, so yes, I read that slightly wrong. At the start of one of their command phases, the attacker selects and reveals one objective marker to be the alpha objective marker, so it doesn't need to come at the beginning. All right. And the end of game objective is infiltrate the line. At the end of the battle, each player scores 10 victory points for each of the following conditions they satisfy, for a maximum of 30. They control 1 or more objective marker, they control the alpha objective marker, And if the attacker has one or more units wholly within the defender's deployment zone, the attacker satisfies the victory condition. If the defender has one or more units wholly within their deployment zone and the attacker does not, the defender satisfies this victory condition. Okay, sounds very interesting. In some ways, it sounds like some of the stuff that we had in the Beyond the Veil that you rolled for those afflictions and things. So it seems to have been sort of added into some of this stuff.
It's carried over. Okay.
Yeah, except yeah,
or it's within the mode itself. So yeah, you don't roll for it. It's just part of the mission.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds interesting anyway. So what we'll do now then is we'll talk through our armies. Then we're going to move the armies off the board, and we'll go away where we set up the board, and we'll set up the deployment, do all the deployments and everything. Okay, so do you want to go through your army first of all?
Yeah, so today I've taken 2 patrols. I've managed to squeeze 2 patrols into a 500-point list. I think we're having a bit of a friendly, so we're just trying out some new stuff, especially with the new codex. It's nice to kind of get more of the units on the field and try some of the new relics and some just kind of put things to the test. But as you can see, today I've taken 3 units of 5 witches. These are just standard witches, nothing special on them. Led by the succubus. So this is going to be a Cult of Strife obsession. So I think at the moment now they have they fight first, and I think they get a +1 to their charge. There's a few other things that we'll kind of go through as the game goes on. She's also going to be armed with there's a relic I've given her. I'll have to look it up later. It's a I'm gonna screw up the wording. A cryptic whip. So try to say that 10 times fast. It's yeah, it's quite powerful. The stats.
Cryptic whip. No, I can't do it once.
Yeah, it's tough. I think it's an extra 2 attacks and 2 damage, something like that. So I'll have to look that up when it comes around to the fighting phase, if we get there. The Archon, same as last time. I've taken him with the. He's also got the relic, the Dungeon Blade. And yeah, then we just have 2 raiders. I think there's nothing special on the raiders today. They're just standard. And in the back we have our cowboy warriors who are just armed with a blaster. So yeah, nothing too fancy. Just trying to test out some of trying to get 2 of the obsessions in. I think the Cult of Strife and the Blackheart are going to be. They seem like they definitely will be the poster boys of the Druhkari this time round. So I'm just trying to get used to them and maybe try out some of their stratagems.
Sounds interesting. A bit scary. So I've taken the Tyranids again, the failing Tyranids at the moment, and I've taken again, it's a friendly, so I thought I'd try some things out. It's a very, very small force, but hopefully should pack a punch and do some damage in those first few rounds, or the first round at least. So I've taken a 6 or so, a max unit of Hive Guards, so again they can fire without being able to see, so that's really powerful for them. I've taken, just to fulfill the troop slot, a unit of Ripper Swarms, a min unit of Ripper Swarms. I don't expect them to last very long, but they were necessary for me to fulfill the troop slot, and they're very cheap. And then I've taken a Hive Guard, which is equipped with the Strangleform Cannon and the Devourer with the Brain Leech Worms. So he's entirely shooting, because I think that's what's needed against these Druhkari at the moment. I'm not convinced that this is going to do very well. I just wanted to try some things out. One of the things I decided might work with this army is the fact that I would get Lookout Sir, and I could put those in hiding and still get Lookout Sir with them. However, Owen just reminded me that because he's got 12 wounds, he doesn't get Lookout Sir. So that plan's gone out of the window a bit, so I'm really feeling rather underconfident about this force now. This might be a very quick game, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, he's certainly a big target right now. But this army itself, I mean, having those hive guards just can hide behind things and stay there for the whole game, and there's very little I can do about it.
Yeah, apart from get up in my face and kill them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, with the this is one thing with the black card obsession that I on turn one so Dark Elder Druhkari have their power from Pain Shard, and one of the new things in the power from Pain Shard is in turn two, Druhkari all get advance and charge. Uh, One of the advantages of obviously having black card is that you are +1 on that chart from the get go. So the raiders can advance and charge because they are black heart. So yeah, it would be nice to get them up and dump some witches out. That was kind of the idea with the mixing the detachments of the Cult of Strife and the black heart, was just to kind of have these like raider bombs that would be able to get right up to the enemy's front line very early in the game. Uh, will it work at a 500 point? I'm not sure. They're not going to be able to take too much hits, and I don't have any heavy guns like last time. I think I had the Ravager, so that was able to do some serious damage and to knock out some of those hive guard. I don't have that option now, so I really do have to get in your face, and if that fails, I'm going to get shot off the board very quickly.
Yeah, it's kind of
Because there's no hiding, there's no cover.
yeah, it's kind of the opposites with this now, because obviously to deal with this force, I'm going to have to try and get them before they get to me. So it's going to be really an interesting role for this attacker defender, because obviously the attacker's getting to choose who goes first. So it
Yeah.
might just determine the mission. This. So what we'll do then is we're going to roll for attacker defender. In fact, we can do this now. Roll for the attacker defender, and then we'll set up the board. And we'll do deployment, and then we'll come back after deployment. So let's roll for attacker defender first of all.
Okay. Oof.
Okay. So I get to choose attacker defender. This is a hard choice, because the attacker gets to choose who goes first, but I don't really want to be having to attack you. But if I don't attack you, then I'm going to give away the points. But equally, if I force you to be the defender, you are going to have to stay back because of the points. I'm going to go for the attacker. Okay, then we'll set up the board, we'll decide who's going where, and then we'll see you back after deployment. Okay, so welcome back. We've now deployed all of our armies. Owen chose to pick this side of the table. It's quite an even table, so it didn't make too much difference. But it works very differently for the deployment zones in this mission. So as you see, the deployment zone for the defender is quite large, but how it works is that it's divided into 3 equal parts, and they've got to deploy their units that they've got in as equally as they can between these parts. Now, because Owen had put most of his units inside the transports, he's only actually got 2 things to deploy, so he's put them wholly within 2 of the sections there. After he'd done that, I then got to deploy all of my stuff afterwards. I have put my Ripper Swarms into Deep Strike, and they get that ability without having to pay for strategic reserves or anything, so I put those into Deep Strike. And because I can't benefit from Lookout Sir, I put my Hide Tyrant right up here. Now, as the attacker, I get to choose who goes first, and quite clearly that's going to be me. So let's get the game started. Okay, so it is the movement phase. It's a command phase first of all. In the command phase, I can choose to decide which one is going to be the alpha objective marker, and that scores another set of points. But I can choose that at any one of my command phases, so I won't be choosing that now. No surprises there, Owen.
I think those Reaper Swarms are coming down in the next few turns.
So, I'm not actually going to be doing any movement because I'm in range with this Hive Tyrant with all of his weapons into this thing here, and because I'm the Kronos Hive fleet again, I will be getting to reroll ones. So everything's going to stay where they are, and I'm just going to skip over my movement, and I'm going to go straight into Psychic. So he does have a Resonance Barb on him, so he can actually cast, normally 2, he's going to be able to cast 3 different spells. And he gets a +1 to those Psychic tests as well. So I will start off with that. Okay, I shall go for the auto take, I think, which is going to be a smite against the raider there, the closest enemy unit, and I'll roll for that smite. I'm going to be using all of his spells because he gets 3 of them. So smiting first of all. It does go off on a 5. In fact, it's a 6, but and it goes off for D3 mortal wounds.
Ouch.
That's a good start.
Yep.
Then I'm going to go ahead and cast... I could cast Catalyst on himself, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to go and cast Catalyst on to the Hive Guard here. Yep. So that gives him a 5-up Feel No Pain. It goes off on a 6, but it's going to be a 5 because of a Resonance Barb. It goes off anyway. So yeah, they have got the 5-up Feel No Pain. I will cast the other spell. It's Onslaught. And this means that if they move, they don't suffer the penalty for having heavy weapons. And they have got adaptive biology on them, which gives them an extra +1 if they're in cover. So at the moment, I'm going to leave them where they are. I don't see any point in actually moving. Oh no, I didn't move them in the movement phase, but yeah, I suppose I could have moved them up a bit. So the Onslaught's not going to make much difference. I will cast it just for the sake of it. In fact, that's actually really silly because I could potentially get perils. But anyway, it goes off on them anyway. Because it goes off on a 6 and I get a +1 from the Resonance Barb. So they've also got Onslaught on them. It's not going to make any difference. The Catalyst is the big one. So that was the side phase. Going on into the shooting phase now, and this is where we're going to see really what happens. I'm actually going to start... Which is the one of your ships with the succubus in? It's this one, right?
This one here, yep.
Well, I'm going to start with the Hive Tyrant because he can't see that raider. So I'm going to see what I can do to the other raider first, and then I've got decisions with a Hive Guard. Probably they're going to be going for the other raider, but I'm not entirely sure at this moment. So I'm going to start off with the Hive Tyrant and roll some things with that.
So what's his guns like on the Hive Tyrant?
Yeah, pretty good. He's got with him a Devourer with the Brain Leech Worms. It's only strength of 6. I could have taken a higher strength one. I took this one because it's an Assault 6 weapon, so it's not D6, it's just 6. What is the toughness is 7 or 8 in the Raider, right?
6 on the Raider.
Okay, so it's going to be on 4s then with hitting on that.
Yeah, and they're D2, so quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, his weapon skill, his ballistic skill is a 3-up. So yeah, you'll have to decide what you want to do the thing on.
I will do a lightning fast, I think.
Yeah, and just talk us through what lightning fast does again.
Lightning fast is just a +1 for you to hit. So
yeah, so it's -1.
Sorry, minus 1 for you to hit.
Yeah, -1 for me to hit until the end of a phase. So it could affect even the choice that I do with a Hive Guard as well. But
yeah, if he survives,
I kind of saw this coming, but yeah, there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah, it's kind of standard now with these games when you got such shooting at the start.
Absolutely.
My only defense.
Kind of an auto take with him, but so yeah, I'm going to start with this Devourer with Brain Leech Worms. It's the first time I've actually taken this, so I don't know why it's Brain Leech Worms, and I was seeing if there was any special ability that it gets, but it doesn't seem to have, unless I'm missing something. If I'm missing something, please let us know in the chat. But yeah, okay, I'm going to start firing that. So I'll get 6 shots with that. Okay, so I'm now going to be hitting on 4s instead of the 3s that he was hitting because of the lightning fast. But because he hasn't moved, I'm actually going to be re-rolling those 1s, which is pretty good. And I don't get any 1s. Okay. So only 2 hit with that weapon. And it's going to be wounding on a 4. Okay, both of them do wound. There is no AP on this. And it's just 1 damage each.
Saves 1 and takes 1.
Okay, so 1 damage. So now we're going to go into the bigger gun. This is the Assault D6 weapon, so I'll see how many I actually get with this. Do you know I'm going to re-roll that? So I got 1 shot with it, so I'm going to roll that. And that's better. Rolled it into a 6. That's exactly what I needed.
That's what you need.
Yeah. This one is going to be wounding on a 3 though. So again, I'm going to be hitting on a 4 because of your lightning fast reflexes, but I do get to re-roll those 1s, and I don't get any 1s. Of course not. So I'm going to be wounding on a 4. Sorry, I'm going to be wounding on a 3. Okay, they all wound. It is minus 1 AP, this is, and they're 2 damage each.
So 5 up save.
Oh, and that's the way to do it. Oh my god. Yeah.
I feel like this is the trend with the raiders at the start of the game.
It is. This has happened in the last 3 games that we've had. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what did happen in the last game? The raider went boom, but in the one before, it was the same, like 3 6s.
That is just amazing.
Crazy rolls.
Yeah, absolutely crazy roll. Now, the question is, do I carry on shooting at that raider, or do I go for the other raider? I think it would be more sensible if I go and target that other raider now. Because I think they can probably take out that raider, and you've used your lightning reflexes on that raider already.
So you're hitting on your 3s and re-rolling your 1s.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nearly guaranteed kill.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, the Hive Guard are going to go and shoot up that raider over there. So I'll be getting 12 shots with them, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. And a load of 2s. It's not going so great for me, but that's enough. That's enough to do it.
It's still enough.
It is, unless I roll really, really badly right now with the wound rolls. We'll soon see.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a strength 8. So yeah, it's going to make no difference. It's still going to be on 3s.
Wounding on 3s.
Ugh, and that's where I needed those rerolls, and I cannot use any rerolls. Go ahead.
But it will go straight to my info.
Oh my god, this is going good for you. Right, so it's going to be D3 damage. This is just, amazing. 2 damage. Wow.
2 damage, yep.
Okay. I am going to use a stratagem now, which you know it's coming. It cost me 2 CP points, and it allows me to shoot again. I was always going to use this, but I was hoping to destroy that raider before and then go ahead and kill that other raider. So it's really put me a bit of a disadvantage here. But
well, I'd kind of seen this coming, and essentially the same thing is going to happen, but you don't have 2 raiders dead. No, you only have 1.
Yeah.
But I am going to use the counter stratagem of obviously bumping that stratagem up to a 3 if you want to use it again.
Yeah, makes sense. But it doesn't for this one, does it?
I don't believe so. We haven't gotten an answer back on that one. But from my reading of it, I'm pretty sure it's from the one, every turn onwards.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah, it would make sense. So it's good, but it's not. It's not broken. You can't really. It's not like the old Vect where you can just stop someone in their tracks.
Yeah, or not, as was often the case as we were playing. So again,
or you just roll the 1.
Yeah, I'm going to be then hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, and I'm glad for that re-roll.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Did roll quite a few 2s again here though. So again, wounding on 3s. That's a lot more positive than it was. So it's -2 AP. Okay, so
a lot of damage.
yeah, there is still it's still average. So let's roll some dice and see how much damage you actually take. It should blow this up for the amount I've spent on it, but who knows with my luck. I think that does it.
Oh yeah, 9. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's more than 9. It's 10.
Oh, sorry. There goes my math. Yeah, 10. Yeah, that's the max wounds you can do to this guy. So yes, I do blow up, or I do die. Let's see if I blow up.
Not that it makes a difference.
5. No. I don't think. Actually, you know what? It wouldn't even have made a difference in this one.
No, it wouldn't have done. But obviously,
I do have to roll though to see
got
who gets out.
Well, you get you guys out first. It wasn't this raider I was shooting. It was the other raider.
Oh, sorry, of course.
Because it's the one without the.
Yep, it's the one with the 8 wounds.
Yeah, and otherwise I'd have been having to hit on 4s because of your
minus and
minus,
stuff. Yeah,
which I didn't want.
No, just a brain fart there.
Yeah, really didn't go the way I wanted it to go. I was really hoping to be able to get rid of that raider before you managed to do anything. Now I'm going to have to take the strike from it.
Okay, so just taking out what I have from the raider. So this guy's been taken off the map. He didn't blow up. Let's see how many of them actually die. So on 1s, I lose models. So 2 models.
So that's the end of my shooting phase. I'll go into the charge phase. Nothing's going to be charging because they're not in range. So that's going to be the fight phase. There's nothing to fight. Morale phase, I don't think you're going to be bothered by that, are you?
No, because I just took out 1 from each unit, so now they should be fine.
Yep.
A leadership of 8.
Okay, so we go to the end of the turn. I shall pass it over to you. At the end of my turn, Tyranids Turn1, I managed to get rid of that raider, although the shooting was a lot more ineffectual than I wanted it to be. The plan was to get rid of that raider and then with that stratagem get rid of the other raider. That didn't happen. And you only lost 2 of your models when they actually got out of the transport. So it's not looking incredibly positive for me at the moment, but we'll see how it goes in your turn.
So back with Druhkari Turn1. I've now lost one of my raiders, so one of my little boats is said goodbye. I've managed to dump out most of the units. Not the worst round. I kind of expected much worse, to be honest. I thought that there was a chance there. I was looking like I was going to lose 2 raiders. Some really lucky saves, but I mean, does raise my point about like these hive guard, they can just wipe out anything. With just 1 round of shooting, and it's not just 1 round of shooting. For that 2 CP, you're getting 2 rounds of shooting. So these guys can have the potential to just wipe out two raiders like that, and it's like game over. So yeah, really powerful unit.
I can, but I'm not going to be because of the CP level. I mean, I'm on 1 CP now. There is no way that I can actually use that stratagem again until potentially, if I don't use any other CP, until the 3rd round now.
Yeah, so by using the Agent's Effect, that has crippled that stratagem. So obviously it's now 3 CP, and these low CP games, like you can't do it. That's just the way it is. But yeah, had I not had that ability, then you're looking at doing it the next round. So there's no way of stopping it in the first round, is what I'm saying. And it's so powerful. It's so good. It's a really nice stratagem with these Hive Guard. I think it really gives like the Tyranids that shooting potential, because they don't have. I think that they do have. I don't know Tyranids super well, but they seem to have kind of like a 4-up on a lot of their shots, and a lot of them have like, they don't tend to be the best shooty army, and I think with a lot of armies in the game now with their 36-inch range and stuff, you can kind of sit back and pick them off. So unless you want to take obviously the Kraken, Alpha Strike unit, so it's kind of nice to see these guys on the table because they really are. Well, it's not nice for me right now, but they are really a powerful.
Yeah, it's funny
Good
you say
model.
that because there is actually a argument for taking Kraken with a shooting army as well, even though it's really intended for the melee, because with the Kraken ability, it allows them to fall back and shoot. So yeah, it potentially is something that could actually save the Hive Guard as well if they were tagged.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, all you're sacrificing is a reroll of ones, which can or cannot be that effective,
I don't think
if I
it's
so
amazingly effective. I'm generally getting one or two that I'm re-rolling, and then potentially I'm
yeah,
missing those re-rolls. But with this loadout, I thought it was actually better than taking the Kraken with this loadout.
no, I agree with you. I think when your objective is to stay back and shoot, then it probably would be more wise to have the rerolls of ones. Your plan is not to get into close combat. Anyway, so I will continue on and start moving into my movement phase. So I'm going to move my troops, and I'll be back to you shortly. So back after movement phase, I've gotten everything out of the raider. I'm starting to basically hold this position with warriors, getting them into range for shooting at the Hive Tyrant. Our witches have moved up. The Archon has moved up and advanced. He rolled a 1, so with the Blackheart, I'm 1 up on my Power from Pain chart. So that allows me to advance and charge in turn 2. So we are in turn 1, but I can still get that ability. But I rolled a 1, but I'm thinking we're pretty safe here. If I just roll a 4 or a 3, I think in this case, I should be able to get into combat with these Hive Guards. All my witches that got out of the ship earlier are also making their ways up on the flank here. Now, they have a much harder charge to make, but with the Cult of Strife, I am actually hitting or making that charge at 1 minus. So there's some, I think it's if there's no other units within the engagement range. So essentially all of these will have +1 to their charge, whichever one I choose to charge in first. And yeah, so that is basically my setup. Raider has come over here to take this point and get him to a position for shooting as well. So yeah, I'm gonna move straight over into the shooting phase and see what I can do. So going into the shooting phase, I'm going to start with the obvious ones. I think is going to be the Cabot Warriors. They're all going to target everything into the Hive Guard. All their lads are in their rapid fire range, so I'm going to get 4 by, yeah, so that's 8 shots. And then the blaster is going to be able to target the Hive Tyrant as well. So he's going to just have his 18-inch range. So yeah, I'll start with the rapid fire weapons.
And these are going into whom?
These are going to go into your Hive Tyrant.
Okay.
These are poison, so the wound on 4s, but there's no AP. So I'm not expecting too much. But you never know. So, hitting on 3s. Lots of 1s. And wounding on 4s.
Oh, that's
Okay,
not bad.
3 wounds, no AP.
Okay, so saving on freeze. Saves them all.
Nice. Now, the blaster, hitting on 3. It's... Oof, does not wound. Now, is it worth the reroll?
I have got
What
a
is your
4 up
toughness?
invulnerable save.
Probably not then.
Yeah, my toughness is... where is it now? Its toughness is 7.
Yeah, it may not be worth the risk. So yeah, I think I'll go move on now into the witches. They are going to shoot everything into the Hive Guard.
Okay.
The 12-inch range on their splinter pistols. So I am shooting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots in total.
Okay.
One of them is going to throw. I have to double check actually if they still have this. You know what? For the sake of the game, I have to look up. I don't know if the witches still have their plasma grenades. That could be something that I find out for the next game. So I'm just gonna roll their standard splinter pistols. So they're gonna get 5 shots. These guys are gonna target the hive guard this time.
Okay.
Hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s because of poison. So 3 wounds.
Okay. So it's just my standard save with the hive guard, which I think is a 4, is it? Yep. 4, and then they've got the feel no pain on them from the catalyst. So on 4s, okay, only saves one of them for that. It's just 1 damage each though, isn't it?
Just 1 damage each though, yep.
Yep. And makes both of the feel no pains.
Yep. So now going with the Raider. The Raider is going to target your hive guard, or hive tyrant, sorry.
Yep.
Hitting on a 3, he has not been bracketed, so he hits and wounding probably on a 3. Wounds, so that will go straight to your invul save.
What's the strength of a weapon? Is it an 8?
8.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, to my 4 up invulnerable save. Oh, which he fails. How much damage is this?
Quite a lot. 3 plus D3.
I'm gonna try and re-roll that. And he does.
Okay. So that's the majority of my shooting. I don't think I have any real shooting left. From here, I'm gonna go into the charge phase. See how we do.
I have no CP left to overwatch you.
So back after the charge phase, and very successful for Druhkari. Got some pretty big rolls over here. All my witches got in into the hive guard. So
you did need to spend a CP, didn't you, for these witches though?
So I actually failed one of the smaller charges. I failed, and I did have to spend the 1 CP. But I was actually planning on using that CP to reroll one of the witches over here in the hive guard. So pretty happy with that. I got the Archon in, so all my units are in. Everything I needed happened. So very lucky. So yeah, now to see if I can do as much damage, because my shooting was a bit of a flop. So we'll have to see. Hopefully I can just get some punches in here and actually show these hive guard who's boss. The Archon at the moment is quite powerful as well, and the Succubus is a lot of like 2 damage weapons, so hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s. So I do expect to see some dead hive guard. The problem is this hive tyrant with the 4 up invul save. We'll have to see. Maybe the Archon will be able to pull something out, but yeah, we'll have to see what happens. So, starting the fight phase, I think I've kind of got the freedom because you don't have any CP to interrupt.
I have none now.
I'm gonna just probably start over here with the Archon. So Archon, if you remember from our last game, has the Dingeon Blade, so it's an extra 2 attacks onto the Archon. So he's
when do you need to roll to see if they take a mortal wound? Is it after using it?
After the fight phase, at the very end, my warlord has to roll. Yeah. For just fighting with it. So he hits on 2s, but he does reroll hits and wounds. Okay. He's probably wounding on a 5 though. Yeah. So wounding on 5s, but rerolls wounds. Oof, needed as well. Okay, so only 2 wounds.
What's the AP looking like?
It's quite heavy. I think it's -3. You'll be doing your invul save for this one on the 4 up.
Oh, fails both of them. And I've got no CP to
6
reroll.
damage.
Wow, that is pretty huge.
Yeah. Okay, going into the hive tyrant with the witches. They have 4 attacks each, so 4 by 5 is 20 attacks. Now, 6s do increase the AP by 1. So there's 4 of these that are slightly stronger, which are going to mark with the blue. Fortunately though, 1s and 2s do not hit. So wounding on 5s, and the succubus is close by, so I believe they do re-roll their wounds of 1 now. So re-rolling wounds of 1. Okay, not so good. So you're
What's the AP looking like then?
2 wounds, 1 AP.
Okay, it's going to make no difference. I'm going to be saving on a 4. Just double checking. Yeah, saving on a 4 then if it's -1 AP. Saves 1, takes 1. Is it just 1 damage?
1 damage, yep.
Okay, taking him down to a 5. He is bracketed now, which it's actually, yeah,
Okay.
it will affect his weapon skill. He would have been on a 2 up, now he's on a 3 up.
Okay, pretty big.
It is, yeah.
Something I noticed as well, and people are going to kill me for this, I completely forgot to give the combat drugs to my army.
Oh, you did,
So,
yeah, which is...
I did, yeah. We were playing Cabo last time, and I forgot about these combat drugs. The only units that are affected by it are going to be the succubus and the 2 other units of witches. I'm going to ignore these witches for now, for this moment in time. But judging by your army, with their toughness of 5, it would make no point in me giving them the +1 strength, which is what I normally do, because half of your army is going to be wounded on 5s anyway. I would give them the extra attack. So all my units are going to get the extra attack.
Okay. I'm not sure anybody's going to actually kill you for it, though.
No, I hope not. But
hunting you down, coming to your house, snipers outside the door.
It's a pretty big mistake forgetting the witches get combat drugs. But I mean, in fairness, this channel is called Whiskey and Wargaming, so you can't blame me. I've had a few beers, so I'm letting a few things slip. But yeah, I reckon both these witches will have all of these guys are going to have an extra attack, just to keep it simple. That's also a new thing in this codex. Before you had to roll for your combat drugs, but now you can actually choose them, which is a lot easier, and it speeds up the game if you remember to put them on. So I'm going to go in with my succubus now. She's going to pile in 3. Get over here. She does have Sorry, I'm leaving the blank there because I can just cut it. I have to look up her cryptic whip.
Cryptic whip.
Here we go. Yeah. Triptych whip. Oh, 3 attacks extra. Jesus, man. So yeah, I think she's on 10 attacks, hitting on 2s, winning on 2s. It's very powerful. Yep. So going in with the succubus into the hive guard, she's equipped with the triptych whip. What a mouthful. She's attacking with, I think she's got 10 attacks now after the combat drugs, because she's yeah, she's got a base of 6 +1 because of the combat drugs and +3 for the triptych whip. It's also poison, but it's a poison on a 2 up, so wow. I'm expecting to see quite a lot of damage from her. Yeah.
Well, let's see if his hive guard can survive this.
And would you believe this is like a 60-point model or something? It's insane.
Crazy.
So hitting on 2s. Do not get to reroll the 1s. These are extra AP though. I don't think it'll matter too much because I think you have invul saves of these, or oh no, it is pretty important then.
I don't have invul saves. I've just got the feel no pains because of the catalyst.
Okay, so 3 of these are 6s. Okay, because they won't be able to be passed. And wounding on 2s. Rerolling 1s.
Nice.
Okay, so 7 wounds.
So
Blues are 2, and red are -3 AP.
Okay, so with the blues, I've got to save a 3 up. 3 up. What am I talking about? 6 up, sorry. So I failed them all. Is it the same damage for all of them?
2 damage each.
2 damage each. Well, in that case, I'm going to have to roll these slow because it is going to make a difference. So what I'll do is I'll roll the first 2.
Oh, sorry. I do believe she doesn't get to re-roll one of those. So you can take out one of those damages. I think it was a standard blue.
Okay.
Because she's not core.
So
This is the
rolling,
new core rules.
rolling for the first one. Okay, so one of them takes 2 damage straight away. Yeah, don't bother putting it on. I'll just take him off as I kill him. So let's roll for the next one. No, so one of them dies. Yeah, I'll just... this makes no difference because you'll pile into me anyway if I move, so it really doesn't make a difference. So I'll get rid of one of them straight away. That was one of these dice. Just get rid of that. Rolling for the next one. Takes 2. And then he dies. Even though I saved one of them, it makes no difference. So just get rid of the dice before I forget and take another off. Then for the next one. It's not going well. 2 damage. And then he dies. And the last one. 2 damage. Wow, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, heavy hitting from the succubus. So this is my first time taking the succubus. And I read online this cryptic whip is well, you've seen for yourself, it does the job. I mean,
Yeah,
running on 2s, giving out the poison is just
That's
crazy.
amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. It
Yeah.
seems really, really powerful.
Crazy. I think it's a -2 CP or AP, but with the when you roll the 6s, which is kind of like a universal trait for a lot of the Druhkari, the AP goes up, so that goes to a -3 AP.
It's just an all-rounder because not only have you got the poison on that, you've got the high AP on that. And normally when you've got that on a unit, you've got a less number of attacks, but she's got lots of attacks as well. So it's really an all-rounder, yeah.
Yeah. It's a relic that you have to take that, but for 1 CP, I mean, I'll take that any day.
Absolutely. And when we get into the actual Crusade, if for anybody who doesn't know how the Crusade works, is you don't get automatic warlord traits or relics. You've got to pay requisition points for them. So normally when you're building your army, you get a warlord trait, you get a relic for free. You don't in the Crusade. You would have to pay for them. So at the moment you've got a warlord trait and 2 relics in your army as it stands here. So in theory, that'd be an extra 3 requisition points that you'd be paying at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of our Crusade, if you wanted to take that. But probably looking at the stats that it did there, it'd be a take. You'd be taking it anyway.
It's sort of a given, right? It's very, very powerful.
It would seem strange not to.
A cheap model to be able to do so much damage. She's under 100 points. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so next we'll be moving on to the witches. I don't think it matters too much. I might just do this as quickly as possible. But yeah, these guys are going to attack into the Hive Guard.
Is
So
that
they
just
will
one
have-
unit of witches, or is it two?
There's 2 units
Yeah.
of witches.
Okay.
So first unit is going to attack. These guys have 4 attacks each. Five attacks each with combat drugs, sorry. There is one less of them from the other units, so it's going to work out about the same. So 20 attacks coming into you. Hitting on 3s. 6s do count for those higher AP shots. But wounding on 5s. Rerolling wounds of 1. So, minus 1 AP are the 6s, and then the blues are minus 2 AP.
Okay. So with the blues, I'm going to be needing 6s, and with the reds, I'm going to be needing 5s. Yeah, wrong way around, really. But so I've saved 2 of them.
Still save.
And how much damage are these each?
1 damage each.
Okay.
1 damage each.
Well, I shall. Does it matter? I'll just fast roll them because they're only 1 damage each. So I've got my Feel No Pain still on him. So makes 1 of them and then takes another 2 wounds. So this one is going to die, and then I'm going to take 1 wound on another one.
Okay. So, just to do this quickly, I'll be piling in the rest of my unit here. And hopefully finishing off the Hive Guards. So again, another 20 attacks, because there's 4 of them, 5 attacks each with combat drugs. Hitting on 3s. I'll just roll this separately because it's going to be easier. Wounding on 5s. Rerolling 1s. Okay, so just 3 wounds.
And do you get that ability?
Minus 1 AP.
Okay. So we're saving on 5s with them. Okay, saves 2 of them. And then with the other one, I'll be getting the Feel No Pain, which he doesn't make, so I'll take another wound. Is that all you're attacking?
That is the end of my fight phase.
No, it isn't. But it's the end of your attacks. Now I get to try
Sorry,
and
and
fight
my
back.
fight
Yeah.
Not the end of yours.
No, I'm going to go... yeah,
Forgot this is coming.
I'm going to start with the Hive Guard first of all. They do actually get some attacks. They're just not very powerful. So yeah, they get 2 attacks each. And they don't get bracketed. I'm really bitter about the Hive Tyrant being bracketed. It was so much damage you did with the Archon on it. Anyway, so I'm going to get 4 attacks with these. With the,
the Archon now with the flat 3 damage is incredibly powerful. The Archon is a close combat machine now. You know, before I felt like he just sat back watching Ravagers, and it was a unit you had to take and you had to spend your 70 points on. And now he feels like a unit that I want to take and I want to put in the front line.
Yeah, makes sense. So I'm going to be hitting on 4s. Okay, that's not too bad. And I should be wounding on... Yeah, you're only 3s, so I'm going to be wounding on a 3. So they all do wound. There is no AP on this, though.
You're wounding on 2s.
Wounding on 2s? No, my strength is only 4. This is the Hive Guard here.
Oh, sorry, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't say what unit they were actually going into. I should have done. It was the Witches in front.
Yeah, they're both the same.
Yeah.
They're both equally strong at the moment.
Just going for the ones in front of him. So
okay.
these ones here.
So you've
no AP. You've got to
3
make those saves. Yeah.
So these guys just have their 4-up invul save.
Okay.
They get this in combat. Out of combat, it's a 6-up invul.
Okay, so you take 2.
Yep. Make one of them and take 2.
Okay. Now moving on to the Hive Tyrant. Now I've got some decisions here because yes, I could go for the Witches. The Archon is doing a lot more damage, but the Archon with her 2-up save is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, with my rolling of the Archon, it could be the first one he goes down, but it could be the last. Or he might not go down at all.
It could be, whereas I potentially could, yeah. I actually haven't got enough
Either way...
shots. Oh no, I have got enough shots to clear out the Witches, but if I don't kill the Archon, she's likely to kill the Hive Tyrant next time, whereas the Witches maybe won't. So
yep.
I think, well, basing it on what's happened in this fight phase, so I think I'm going to have to go for the Archon and just see what happens.
I believe that's a smart move.
Yeah.
I'd go for the Archon. Those Witches, they can't do enough to you to kill you. The Archon could kill you very easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be a 4-up save for you, you know? 50% chance.
It is,
but with these Witches, it's very unlikely that I'm going to be able to get that many wounds in.
Yeah, so I'll be going for the Archon. So I'm going to be getting, yeah, because you've bracketed me now, my weapon skill's gone to a 3-up rather than a 4-up. I mean, rather than a 2-up. I do get 4 attacks, and then I get 1 with the prehensile pincer tail. So I'll roll the 4 attacks first because they are different stats.
I'm going to do lightning fast as well to make that a 4-up.
Okay. In fact, I can actually just fast roll these because the only difference is the prehensile pincer tail is just D3 damage rather than the other one because I haven't loaded him out for melee. So the blue one is the pincer tail. So needing 4-ups because of your lightning fast. Okay, the pincer tail misses. That's a D3 damage, which would have been something. But these ones go through. There is no AP on it. But you're on your 2-ups as normal.
Well, I can use my standard save.
You could, yeah.
Which is a 4-up. And with no AP, how much damage?
It's just 1 damage. I haven't kitted him out at all for melees. It's not the point of him. You know, in this loadout, it's not.
Yeah.
It's 1 damage.
We'll see how many wounds you get, and that'll kind of...
That's the wounds.
What I do. Oh, they were the wounds.
Oh, were they the wounds?
I believe you rolled.
Oh, of course it was. It was just the hits. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. The blue was the tail, but that failed. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be wounding on strength. Yeah, my strength is 6. So yeah, still on 2s.
Yeah.
Strength is 6.
Still on 2s.
Okay, so they all do wound, but it's just your normal save, or depending which save are you taking it on?
I believe I'll just go with the invul because there's only 3. So saves 1, saves 2, saves 3.
You'd have made it on both saves. Okay, that is yeah, that is it. Don't believe there's any more attacks coming from anyone, is there?
I believe that's now. That is the end of my turn.
Okay, do you have any morale to take?
I did lose 2 witches here. They lost 1 already, so 2 from Leadership of 8. I actually don't have to take morale with these guys.
Don't. And I don't have to take a morale because I'm in synapse range of the Hive Tyrant here.
Yeah. What is the synapse range? I always forget with Tyranids about this rule. Because I just ignore the fact that they ever have to run away. But in the last game, it actually occurred that you did have to run away.
Yes, it did, because I didn't have a psyker on the table.
Right.
The synapse range is normally 12 inches, but with this Hive Tyrant it goes up. Just checking. Yeah, it actually goes to 18 rather than 12 with a Hive Tyrant. It's got a special ability. But it's 12 inches normally. So yeah, they're not going to be affected by it. Okay, so do you want to round up the end of your turn?
So rounding up the end of the turn for Druhkari, I think we can see that it was quite successful. I got all my troops up to the end of the board. Most of the Hive Tyrants or Hive Guard have been taken out. And yeah, some serious damage is put onto the Hive Tyrant himself. So yeah, really happy with the charges. I didn't expect to get all those witches in. They didn't do as much damage as I would have liked. They did get their boost in the new codex, but they didn't seem to have a strong punch onto the Hive Guard themselves. But the Succubus just carried that fight altogether. She basically took out every model. So yeah, I mean, this triptych whip, this is what I was reading online. It was saying that it was very powerful and it works quite well with the Succubus. So hitting on twos and wounding on twos it's a no-brainer. And with a potential 10 attacks, it's crazy. So yeah, and for the price of the model is incredible. So yeah, I'm really happy what happened over here with the Hive Guard, and yeah, still this battle is raging on with the Hive Tyrant. But yeah, I feel like we have the upper hand. We are going to be fighting first next in the next turn. So yeah, if the Hive Tyrant survives, maybe he might take out a few units. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's the end of round 1 for Druhkari.
Okay, and at the end of a battle round, on the first turn nothing gets scored, so that was only the first battle round. Nothing's going to get scored for that. So, beginning of Tyranids Turn 2. The first thing I'm going to do, and this is what I can do in the command phase, is I'm going to declare the alpha objective now, which I'm going to declare as objective number 3. So this is going to be worth an extra 10 points at the end of that battle round. So unfortunately I do have to wait a whole other turn till it gets there, but I'm sure you can guess what's going to come here. So moving swiftly on to the movement phase, I will do this on camera because there's really not much that's going to happen. But what I am going to do is I'm going to move these Hive Guard out of combat. Do you have anything that stops them doing that?
Yes, so if you want to do a movement away from combat, you will have to roll.
And you've got a net, haven't you?
It's a roll off. I don't have a net. These are just the models. I don't actually have the
okay.
shirt and the impaler. So it's just a straight roll off. So if you win the roll off, you actually retreat.
Oh. Yes! Yay! Nice. Finally something's coming up my way. The only reason I'm doing this is because you would get to fight first, and it's pretty guaranteed that you're going to kill them before I even get anywhere. So just moving them out of that. I'm not going to be able to shoot with them, but it's just going to prolong them staying alive for another round. And the important thing with them is, though, I'm going to be moving into the cover for a starters, and I need to be making sure I am moving outside of the potential heroic intervention range of them. So that's what I'm going to do. Because of the adaptive biology that I've given them, they're actually going to be getting a +1 for the cover on shooting, and they're going to get an extra +1 now. So the shooting's not going to be so effective on them now, even though I'm fully aware that you're probably going to kill them in their next phase. But it's just the risk of, I'm going to have to take that. So the Hive Tyrant isn't moving, but I am going to go on to the psychic phase. And
and before you continue, I did forget. I do have to roll a d6 to see if my Warlord takes a mortal wound, which he does not.
Okay.
That's for the Dungeon Blade, by the way, guys, if anyone's watching.
So, moving on to the psychic phase. I'm going to start with a smite, and because they're all pretty much equal distance. I'm going to be going into the Archon with that smite.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yep.
Bypass that 2-up save.
Exactly. Does get a +1 to it, but only for a super smite you've got to get unmodified. So, okay. It goes off because of a +1 of the resonance barb, but it's only going to be D3 mortal wounds. So let's see what I get from that. Two mortal wounds into your Archon.
Yep.
Okay, that is something. Then I am going to do... I'm actually going to give the Feel No Pain to the Hive Tyrant himself, because I feel Hive Guard are probably just going to die anyway when you get into the charging range of them, no matter what. So maybe if I can keep that Hive Tyrant alive... Oh, I did forget something. Can I do it now? At the end of my movement phase, I intended to put the Rippers down. Is that
of
all
course.
right if I do that?
You know what? I'd even noticed that, but I'd kind of forgotten that the movement you'd gone past the movement phase because you just skipped it.
Yeah, I did. Well, not quite. But so what I'm doing there is I'm keeping them in obscuring. So I'll just move them ever so slightly back. But I've kept them because they do have obsec. So I've put them in the range of that objective marker, but keeping them in obscuring.
Yep.
Just for anybody who's watching, by the way, because we're playing on Tabletop Simulator and it can be a bit funny with where things are exactly, what we decide to house rule on all our games is that we announce things. So if they're in obscuring, they're in obscuring. If I'm intending to put them against a wall so they would be getting the cover but they can see it through a window or something like that, we announce it as we're playing it, just to keep things moving along at a pace and fair. So that being said, I'm going to go into the second one here, and I'm going to, like I say, I'm going to do that Feel No Pain, the Catalyst on himself. In fact, I will just check that he can do Catalyst on himself. So, yeah, friendly Tyranids unit, so yeah, in theory he can. Okay, so he's needing a 6 for this, but only a 5 on the dice because of a Resonance Barb. So that goes off, so he's got the Feel No Pains on him as well now. And I will give Onslaught.
Okay, very nice.
In fact, there's no point me even rolling for the Onslaught on them. Just double check that.
And remind me, what is Onslaught?
So what the Onslaught does is I select a friendly Tyranids unit within 18 inches, and the unit can shoot this turn even if it's advanced without suffering the penalties to hit rolls for moving and shooting with heavy weapons, or advancing and shooting with assault weapons. In addition, that unit can charge the turn even if it advanced, though not fell back. So it gives some of the stuff that the Gene Stealers have already. I won't be able to use it for anything though on them because they did fall back, so it's going to make no difference to their shooting or anything. So I'm not going to bother casting it because of the potential of getting perils from it. If I could do another smite, I would, but I can't. So yeah, that's going to be.
You've no intention of charging or moving, so.
Yeah, exactly. Now he will get to shoot. In fact, no, because it doesn't actually say that it's about that. He will get to shoot because he is a monster. Double check. Yes, he does have a monster.
Yep, he is a monster.
Yeah, so he will get to shoot, but only one of his weapons, because the Stranglethorn cannon is a blast weapon. So he's not going to be able to shoot that one, but he will be able to shoot the Devourer with Brain Leech Worms, which I think I'm going to go into the Archon again. I really do, because if I can take out that Archon, I just think he is the biggest threat. And he gets six shots with that, but it is -1 to shoot, so there's no point even doing Lightning Fast on him, because it's a -1 to shoot because he's in combat.
Well?
He is bracketed, but it's not going to affect him at this level. For the ballistic skill, it stays at 3 at this level. When he gets down to 1 to 3 wounds, he goes to 4 ballistic skill. The weapon skill is affected by this, and his movement is. But yeah, he's just at his 4 because he's in combat.
4.
but I haven't moved, so I will get to re-roll those ones. So 6 dice, re-rolling the ones, hitting on a 4. Okay, could be worse. Yeah, not so great. And I should have a CP, right?
You should have a CP. I was looking at that already. I was wondering.
Did I use a CP anywhere in this turn?
No,
No, I didn't.
You fell back. You haven't used any CP. I'd put it on there and just.
Yeah, I must have knocked it off or something by mistake. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I certainly should have a CP.
You certainly should, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now then, I will be wounding on a 2 because it's a 6 strength. Yeah, there is no AP on this though. Okay, so 2 wounds. It's only 1 damage, so I can't take out the Archon.
I think I'll use the invul save. Oh, he loses the invul save. He saves the other one though.
Okay, so just 1 damage to the Archon.
So it's just 1 damage, and I do not have an invul save anymore.
Well, that's good to know. I'm not sure it's going to be enough to save me because you are going to get to fight first. So going into
there's a lot of
going into the charge phase. Obviously, I'm not going to be charging. These guys fell back. There's just nothing I can do there. And going straight into the fight phase, and you are going to get to fight first with absolutely everybody. You have got the fight first ability with everybody, haven't you?
I do, except for the Archon. So technically, I'll choose to fight with the Archon first.
That makes sense. No, you do need to. I believe you need to go with the.
I might have to.
Yeah, the ones that fight first. So that's actually really good for me because it means.
Yeah,
I'm going to get to go
first. You get the second strike.
Yeah,
into the Archon,
exactly.
and I don't have a nimble save anymore.
That works out really well for me. So, but you do need to go with those witches first.
Yeah. So the witches are going to get their full attacks. So there's 5 of them. They have 5 attacks each.
Mm-hmm. If we're making a mistake with this rule, please somebody write it in the comments so we can correct it for the next game.
Yeah, but I think if it's fight first, you have to fight first. This unit, if you imagine it like a list, then they have to go.
I believe so. It's just whether then it goes to you afterwards or not. I believe it just then going to me, but
I think it would go to you because the Archon isn't. It goes into the order then.
Yeah, I believe that's correct, but we'll see.
Yep. So hitting on 3s. 6s are more AP. I'll roll them separate. Wounding though on 5s. Oh, not so good. Rerolling once because the succubus. And yeah, so that's 1 pile there. And these ones. Oof. So 1 wound, that's -2, and these ones are only -1. So
okay, it actually makes no difference because my 4-up is I've got a 4-up in vulnerable and a 3-up save, so it really doesn't make any difference. So let's go ahead and try and save these, and I save them all. Okay, that could be a game changer.
Yeah, now here comes the pain.
Yeah, so again, I'm just debating whether to split this up now. Because I've got D3 damage. How much has the Archon got left on him? No, I'm going to go
only 2 health left.
Yeah, I'm going to go everything into... I have got a CP. But there's a good chance you save it. I'm going to go everything into the Archon because she's the only one left to fight in this round. Yeah, and she's the one that could really cause me a lot of pain still. So I'm not going to take the chance. I'm going to go everything into the Archon. Yeah, so it's going to be 4 attacks with the normal attacks, and then I get 1 for the tail. I'll mark that as a blue for the tail because it does do D3. So I'm about to roll it. Okay, hitting on freeze because you bracketed him. Oh, 2 of them fail. And then wounding, I'm going to be wounding on 2s. Okay. So 2 of those.
What is the AP?
There's no AP on it, on either of them. But there's more damage on the blue. Oh, you saved the blue one.
Saves one. Ooh,
So
it
it's
doesn't save the other one though.
just 1 damage though. It's not enough for what
1
I
damage.
needed.
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough. I really needed to kill her. Nothing I can do about that. I mean, I maybe should have re-rolled something earlier, but it's too late now.
Well, I've got 7 attacks coming into you. Rerolling hits and wounds. Hitting on 2s. Wounding on 5s though.
I'm re-rolling. Okay.
Oof. Not the best.
So I'm just going to be into my 4-up invul, right?
Yes.
Saves 1 of them, takes 2 of them. How much damage are they each? Because I have got the feel no pain.
Flat 3 damage. So 6 damage in total.
Yeah.
So likely to survive this with the feel no pains because it is a 5-up.
Yeah. I can just roll these together because it's the same target. Well, that's not bad. I take 3. Do survive it, but I am very bracketed now. Okay. So that is the end of my fight phase. Is there any morale to be taken? Not on my side and not on your side.
No.
So the end of Tyranids Turn2, not very much happened. The Hive Guard just moved out of combat. The Ripper Swarms were dropped down. And the Hive Tyrant managed to survive, which is a thing. So we're going into your turn 2.
So coming back with Druhkari in turn 2, we're looking quite positive. I feel like we've pretty much got the majority of your army under control. So I don't even know if I'm going to be worrying too much about the points anymore, which was something I was thinking about at the start of the game, because I thought that you were going to basically charge in, blow up some of my raiders and stuff. So now I feel kind of a little bit more on the offense. It is a question here if my Archon's going to survive, but I could do some trickery stuff to maybe take him out of combat or take the witches out of combat and see if I can finish off that Hive Tyrant. Really though, I think all of this is going to be decided in the next fight phase. So I think that's kind of where it's going to go. So I'm going to start doing a bit of movement, maneuver some of these troops around, and yeah, we can come back once I'm finished that. Okay, so end of movement for Druhkari. I've just retreated the witches. They've fallen back from the Hive Tyrant. I've used 1 CP to use a stratagem. I'd have to look up the name now, but essentially it's what we all, if you've played Druhkari, it's Cruel Deception. But instead of being 2 CP now, it's 1 CP. If you just fall back and charge, it's 1 CP. You have also the option of just falling back and shooting. But if you just do one or the other, then it's 1 CP. But if you do both, it's 2 CP. So it's a really cool thing because you can kind of choose, especially stuff like the witches that aren't great at shooting anyway. I'd rather just avoid that and pay the 1 CP. Yeah, so all the witches are in opposed to obviously strike the Hive Guard here. I've got my Succubus ready to charge the Hive Tyrant. And the Archon is still in combat with the Hive Tyrant. So we're going to see how this goes. Maybe get a few shots off now. And I think it's going to wrap this game up, but we'll see. So going into the shooting phase, I'm going to start with the Cavalite Warriors. They're going to pump everything they have into the Hive Guard.
Okay.
And they do have their rapid fire and they've got their blaster. So rapid fire is going to be 8 shots. Hitting on 3s. Lots of 1s. Whoa. Wounding on 4s. So just 2 wounds, no AP.
No AP. Then I'm going to be saving on 2s. They get the benefit
Oh,
of
very
cover
nice.
there, and they have got the I forget the name of it now. I'll just have a look.
I think I know what you're.
It's dynamic camouflage, and it's an adaptive
Yeah,
physiology.
you took this in the last game.
Yep.
Very effective.
It is, but I'm not going to get it, although you can't shoot with those witches, but I wouldn't get it with them if you could shoot them, because you're within an inch of that terrain piece, so I wouldn't be getting it.
Okay.
But I am getting it with everyone shooting from over there. And saves them both.
Okay. So now you're getting 1 one blaster shot. It misses. I do get to re-roll though one shot, so it hits and it does not wound. Yeah. So now going with the witches, I might fast roll these just for the speed of it. So there's 1, 2, 3,
oh,
4,
they didn't
5,
all
6,
fall back,
6.
did they?
No, these
Yep.
guys haven't fallen
Yep.
back. You actually fell back from them.
Yep. So I'm not going to be getting the cover save against them. So I'll be on my straight 4-ups.
So these guys are hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s because of poison.
Okay. And there's no
3
AP,
wins,
is
4
there?
wins.
No AP?
0 AP.
Okay, so saving on
No AP.
4s. That's not bad. I take 1 wound, which is enough to kill one of them.
Now the raider is going to go for his shot, and he will target the hive guard as well. So raider hits on a 3. Oh, he just gets a reroll because of the black heart. So he hits and probably wounding on a 2. Yeah. So 1 wound minus 4 AP. You do get your bonus
AP.
though.
So I am a 4. That takes it down to a 2. But with the 4 AP, I'm back up to a 6. And a save it. Wow.
Oh, nice.
That is a good one for me. Though it's not going to make
Yep.
much difference in the end up, because you're just going to charge him and kill him.
Essentially, yeah. That's the plan. So yeah,
The Archon's still in combat, right?
Yeah, he does actually get a shot, and with poison, it might be worth taking.
Oh, because of
he's
the
got a
pistol, yeah.
So he hits, and he wounds. So no AP though.
What's the strength on that?
It doesn't. It's poison. So
Oh, I see. Of course. So no AP. Let's see if I can save it. Saves it.
Okay, wasting all your good rolls now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is all the shooting, and I'm just going to go straight into the charge phase. I think we can wrap this up. I think this is going to be... He should die from all these witches, and from the amount of attacks that we've seen the succubus can do, wounding on 2s. I feel like it's going to solidify it here. But,
I think it will.
Let's roll and see what happens. These are all essentially auto charge in, so I'm not going to get too... I'm going to speed do this and just jump them in because they can't fail.
Yeah, with 2 attacks coming from him on a 6-up for an Overwatch, I don't see there's even any point in me doing it.
Yeah, that CP could be used somewhere else. Succubus is also with her auto charge. And when I say auto charge, I mean she just can't fail.
Yep.
Okay, so that is going to be all the charging. I will start with the succubus. See if I can kill the hive.
Has the succubus got to go first?
No, she doesn't.
Then the witches need to go first.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep.
Not that it makes a difference. I haven't got an interrupt anyway.
You haven't got an interrupt, yeah, regardless. But I will roll all the succubus. I'll do a quick roll as well because I think, yeah, they're all in the range to get the rerolls. So I'm just going to do a quick roll here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What's their AP on them?
-1.
-1. Okay. Well, let's roll it out.
So it's 11 attacks by 5.
Yeah, I think this is a done deal, but
And then for the Hectrics, they get 1 each. I believe it is. So, yeah, hitting on 3s.
Do you re-roll with them?
Wounding on 5s. Rerolling 1s.
Well, I'll go ahead and try and save these first before you even bother with rolling the other ones.
They're just a higher AP. These are standard -1 AP.
Okay, so yeah, saving on 5. Nope, so he's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get to go with your succubus, and then I'm going to go with the high tyrants.
So Succubus does get her 10 attacks.
That's really nice.
Really nice. She hits on 2s. Doesn't get to reroll 1s though. And wounding on 2s because of poison. Does reroll wound? No, she doesn't reroll wounds. So yeah, -3 AP.
Okay, straight to my invulnerable
2
of
damage
4 up.
each.
Okay, so only takes actually
nice.
2 of them, and I have still got the feel no pain on him. So I'll just roll this twice.
Yeah, so there is a chance.
Okay, 1 damage. He's got 2 left on him. So I need to make both of the feel no pains right now. Which he doesn't. So he is going to die, but
close.
he has got on him death throw. So if a model is reduced to 0 wounds, roll a dice before removing it from the battlefield. On a 6 it lashes out, and you take D3 mortal wounds on every unit close by. So it's possibly I'll kill the Archon if I get the 6.
Very possible.
Which I do.
And
so,
he does.
So it's going to be D3 mortal wounds.
Archon's dead.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Oh,
because he's only got 1, hasn't he? It's a bit of retribution. It's not going to win me the game, but it's a bit of retribution.
Things, but it's...
So 2 mortal wounds, and how far is it? Within 3 inches. Let's just check here. I think they're actually...
I'd say roll for it. Roll for it.
Yeah, I would say they're within 3 inches. Got big long arms. And 3 on the witches. Well, a bit of retribution. It's not going to win me the game. But...
a bit of retribution, yeah. So yeah, that is going to be the end of my turn. There's nothing to fight back with. So I will be calling it. However, just to clarify that I'm making the right decision here. At the end of that battle round, we will be scoring. And to read what it says here. 1 or more objective markers gives you 5 points. The alpha objective marker gives you 5 points. And more objective markers than your opponent gives you 5 points. So you have got 1 and you've got another one. So you're going to be getting, in theory, 10 points. I won't even bother putting them on because I'm going to be calling it anyway. And I will be getting 10 points because I've got 1 and I've got the alpha marker. So it's actually 10 all at the end of this. However, I can't do anything with the Rippers. They're likely to run away because they've got a leadership of 4. So even if you don't kill them all, they're likely to run away. There's nobody in the synapse range. So it would seem silly to me to even carry on at this stage because all you need to do, and it's the only thing to focus on, is just get the raider across there and shoot them and they will die. So good game. I still haven't got the answer to these Dark Eldar at 500 points. Yeah, I'm surprised. I took kind of like a weird mix list there with 500 points. I thought it was a bit of a bad decision maybe to take the two patrols and 500 seems kind of absurd. But I think I saw the amount of shooting that the Hive Guard could do, and that I figured volume of units is what I need, opposed to like big units, because none of my units can take many hits. So you'll just knock them off the board regardless. So there's no point in having something expensive on the map.
Absolutely.
And that's what Druhkari are good for. They have strong units and they've even stronger units now that are just They're cheap. They're not expensive. They're, you know, things like the succubus. You can't even target, you know, unless she's on the front line right in front of you. She's like 70 points or something. You know. So
Yeah,
with I think she's actually only 60 points. And then the Archon is like 70. So these are really powerful units now. Like they can carry my army so far, you know.
yeah, I
I do
definitely
think
don't think I've found the answer to the Druhkari at all yet. I do, not at
yeah.
500 points. I do think they had more going for me there, but I think I need to have a look into the intricacies of it a little bit more, because giving that adaptive physiology, the dynamic camouflage, yes, it saved them a couple of times there, but seeing as they're mostly going to be sat in obscuring anyway, and unless it was a very weird looking map where I could be in cover and then be in obscuring from something else, which is very unlikely to happen, I don't think it's the best thing to give them. What I'd like to do, I don't know if such a thing exists, I'll have to read up a bit more, but something that allows them to either shoot in combat or fall back and shoot, or something along those lines. I mean, maybe if I'm right in thinking with the Kraken that you can fall back and shoot with them, maybe that is the way to go. Because if I had been
Yeah.
able to there, I'd have actually got a lot more off. I'd have potentially been able to take out that raider. Not that the raider made that much a difference, but yeah, I haven't found the answer yet. Is the thing. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
kind of
I got
apprehensive
very
about going.
lucky on my I got very lucky on my charge rolls that time. Like when getting all the witches in on 8 plus was quite significant. So yeah, that wasn't expected. Had my succubus not made that roll, then your hive guard would still be alive and still shooting.
Yeah, that is definitely true,
So
and
it's
I got to say I was
yeah.
unlucky on that first shooting turn. That the hive guard did nothing much with our first shooting round, which I should have been able to take out a raider and take out the other raider as well. I'm not sure it had made much a difference to the game, really. But I was unlucky with that. But again, I don't think it'd have changed the game. I'm quite apprehensive in some ways of going into this crusade, because I don't think I've got any kind of answer at 500 points yet. However,
Yeah.
I think going
It
to
could
higher
be.
levels, I definitely have got an answer to it. But again, as we said, if anyone's got any good ideas for lists, please share them. At 500 points, I'm specifically looking at here, and I'm looking at Tyranids, not another army. I'm not really bothered what at the moment, but I'd like to get some sort of idea before I go into this crusade, which is going to be happening in the next couple of days. So please do put any comments down there and let me know.
Yeah, because we play 3 500 point games to begin with normally, and then it goes up to like 600 points. So like, you know, how much can your army really change? Even in a 600 point, there's not too much units that you can really. That 100 points isn't gonna save you. So I think you're really gonna have to find a more dynamic army to deal with the Druhkari, because I'm seeing that you can get lucky and take out my big units with these hive guard, but then turn two, if I get into combat, you know, it kind of feels like you're playing the 50-50 game. It's like if you get turn one and you get to shoot first, you get the advantage. If you don't get that with this army, then you don't really stand a chance, because I can get up the board and I can get into combat with you right away.
The only
So, and I have strength.
the only
So I
thing
think that's the
oh,
problem with
sorry.
the. Oh, no worries. That's the only thing I see with the expensive units like the Hive Guard in a 500 point game is that they're just so expensive, and like you just can't take anything else. And in Crusade, where a lot of the games are about scoring points and taking objectives, you just don't have enough units to do it. You know, if your army is spread thin with like three units, it's very hard to take objectives. And when you see armies like Druhkari that like capitalize on MSU, they're just going to be jumping things all over the board. And now that they're so decent in combat as well, and they can tie things up so well and survive, they're like a real threat. So yeah, it definitely I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for Tyranid. I always say it was the Hive Guard, but at 500 points, sometimes I feel like it's too low a point level. It can be kind of like a game of luck.
The only thing
But
I'm
now,
thinking now is possibly to rethink this, and rather than the Hive Guard and trying to actually destroy your units, try and think of this in a more clever way and focus on maybe lots of troops, cheap troops, that I can go and really cause some questions for you in terms of the objectives, knowing full well that I just cannot survive you. Because the Hive Guard, yeah, they're very good. They do a lot of shooting, and that is the answer to killing your big things, most definitely. But as we've seen in the last few games, they can do a lot, but still haven't got enough compared to the amount of units that you do have access to. So maybe it's a rethink on, actually, I'm not going to kill you, and I'm not intending to kill you. But if I can steal those points away from you and just give you some big questions of what do you do where, spread myself out with lots of units, lots of cheap troops, rather than taking these Hive Guard, which are costing me a lot of points, and just taking it on the chin that I'm not going to be able to kill you or even kill any of your units. Maybe that's just another way of thinking about it.
yeah, yeah, I think yeah, I don't think it's a bad strategy to just take small units and like expect to lose or to die. You know, like I mean, most of the time when I go into fights with Druhkari, I kind of expect that I will die. It's just about choosing when you die, and choosing who fights and stuff. So like having so much units on the table, it kind of dictates like what you're going to be shooting, or what I can choose what you can shoot. I can choose what I'm going to lose every turn, so I can put stuff in the firing range. So it's kind of, yeah, a little bit of mind games, but also it's a little bit of like just having to trade. You know, it's like
Yeah,
you take this, I'll take that, and you can't trade if you've only got 3 units. If I've got 6 or 7 units, I can certainly decide
yeah.
which ones I'm going to be trading, because you can't. Not everyone's going to live. You know.
Yeah, I think I've got to look at it that basically no one's going to live from mine. But
Yep.
if I manage to score enough of the objectives before that point, then I've got a
Mm.
potential of winning the game, even if no one's going to live from it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like again, 500 points is it's a funny one. I don't think you're going to get like a proper game. And I know Crusade's not competitive, but like I don't think 500 points is competitive in any way.
Oh, neither do
Because
I.
it's very yeah, it becomes very turn one-ish. You know, like if someone has the shootier army or has like a way more powerful army, and they get turn one, like you're going to know it straight away. The only counter to that is MSU. You know. Um, But if you don't have cheap units, you can't do that. So Dark Eldar are great for that. They're a really good all round army because they've got powerful units that are, relatively cheap, and then they've got some really cheap units.
Yeah,
So I can definitely like just take as much units as possible. Like those witches, I've got like 3 units of witches on the board, and I've got Cowboy Warriors, and they're not doing anything. They're on the board, they're holding points, and they're playing the game. So, and if you want to kill them, you got to put all your shots into them, which means you're not shooting other things. So it's
yeah,
really, it's kind of like a horde mentality. And I Tyranid are an army that can specialize in horde mentality. So looking at Gene Stealers, looking at like units like that you can just get in bulk and just get into combat, use those high invul saves, and just stay on the board and uh, keep scoring points and stop keep denying points. Don't expect to. I definitely don't think with Tyranid. I mean, even for like the fluff, it feels like Tyranid shouldn't survive. Like they just send in things to die. They're just cannon fodder. So
yeah. That's absolutely
yeah.
true, and I think we've both been going well. I need to take these hive guard uh, to
I still
to be able
stand
to
by the
do any
Hive Guard.
damage. Well, So do I, because they
But
do a lot of damage to you, but
maybe not
not
at
at this
500.
point. Because, yeah, I can kill half of the units. I could have a perfect round of shooting with them. I mean, for example, if I'd have taken both of those raiders out in the first turn with them, which I could have done if I had a perfect round
Which
of
you very
shooting,
easily could have done. Yeah.
still, it wouldn't have changed this situation that we're in now.
Yeah.
It'd have been
I'd
exactly the
still have
same.
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly the
Depending on
same.
how much I lost. But yeah, I'd say we'd be in the same scenario, because I'd lose one or two witches, but my succubus basically won that match.
Yes. Yeah, it did.
Hands down. I mean, the my Archon did a great job too, but the succubus basically took out the Hive Guard in one turn, and then she moved on to the Hive Guard and finished him off. I think she would have, had you killed the Archon. I still think there was just too many units to even deal with. She really did, by taking out the Hive Guard. That I think that crippled the. There's just so much points. They're so expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's been a good
Yeah.
game. It's been another
Great game.
bit of a learning experience. I still haven't found the answer, but I'm thinking maybe we try out, or I try out something like that. But the question is now whether we go straight into the Crusade, because we've had enough warm-up matches now.
Yeah.
But either way, I expect the next video that we're probably going to be making is going to be about the pre-warm-up for our Crusade, where we go over our house rules for our Crusade and what we're planning on doing. And also, what I think is most interesting is how we arrange the victory points for the Crusade. So, as I mentioned in the last video, we kind of make our Crusade to be more like a one long match, and we set it at 12 games, and it has victory conditions, and we get score for winning certain things. For example, winning the primary objective, actually winning the game. And then we have secondary ones like killing the warlord and such like, which all give us an amount of points towards winning the whole crusade. So yeah, that's going to be our next video. I think we'll be talking about that, doing the preamble to that, and then we'll be setting up our crusade force. So again, as I said, if anybody's got any better ideas, any really experienced Tyranid players who can say where I've been missing things, or just better ideas here, then please do let me know. And as ever, please like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell icon to receive updates of our new videos. So I hope you enjoyed this one. It's certainly been an educational one for me, and I hope you enjoyed it too, Owen. And we'll see you back at the next one. So thanks
Always
for
have fun.
watching.
All right. See you later.